Hello, welcome to Continuous Edge. Today we are going to introduce a new segment called 6 Minutes in the Garden. It is going to focus mainly in the garden and not so much here on the desk, which means I could be out of a job. Not really. Today's segment is going to focus on the removal of the invasive exotic Multiflora Rose. Well folks, there comes a point where there's nothing for it but to do it. We're going to put on our safety gear, we're going to put on our gloves, which are a little damp from our last excursion. We have our eye protection on, the flora cap always helps. You'll be amazed when cutting through invasive exotic roses, vining roses, just how often they come back and want to whack you in the face. It's almost like they have a consciousness and they're trying to defend themselves. But we have our loppers, we've got opposable thumbs, we're going to win. We're going to get some scratches, we're going to get stuck, but we're going to win. Roses are well known for their thorns, and those thorns will grab onto the leaves and branches of their plant neighbors. By tugging those roses, we do risk doing some damage to the plants that we want to keep. This is an apple tree. This was the most productive apple tree on the property until beavers gnawed it down. As we're cutting out the invasive exotics, we'll be mindful and we will leave our apple tree stem. This is Oriental bittersweet and roses. You see those long arching canes? You see that? What these roses want to do is they want to grow over and get on top of the next tallest plant. And then they'll send another cane and they'll go even higher and higher. And in that way, they can get all the way up to the tops of big tall trees. Hoo-wee. Our loppers won't get through that. Our loppers barely got through this one. Environmental restoration carries a lot of responsibility. You don't want to make a situation worse. That is the one thing that you don't want to do. Oh, look at that. Freedom. Freedom. It's done. It's done. Holy crap. I feel amazing. See that green stem right there? Bent over the rainbow, that green stem? That is our native red twig dogwood. We break this rose out of here, that red twig dogwood's going to stand up right in its place. Beautiful. Look at the size of that big old rose trunk right there. Man, so to get this out of here, we're going to just lop off some of the smaller branches. These are called loppers. Put your blade end up, work with gravity. If you put the blade end underneath, the branch is going to try to pinch the blade and it's going to make it harder to cut. Never twist the blade like that. Don't twist it when you're cutting. It can actually snap your blade and it'll dull it for sure. Just a nice, smooth, crisp cut. Loppers generally have a size rating. I think these are 1.25 inches. And some woods are softer and easier than others. Some woods will break your loppers and break your heart. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, I feel like Frodo in the Lord of the Rings. It's gone. I mean, it's not really gone, it's still a stump right here, but wow, look at that. Here it goes. This is one invasive exotic plant. This is one plant. This was one plant. Yeah. Here's the case where we're actually going to dig out a rose. We have some cut roses. This is Oriental bittersweet. That's a vine. The size of that thing. So we're going to be going for this rose right here. That little cluster. I'm going to attempt to dig that out. We don't know how shallow it is to bedrock. It seems pretty shallow. We're going to do our best just to tear this kid out of the ground. We don't want to be gentle. We don't want it to live. We don't want to transplant it. We just want to get this plant. out of the ecology. Next thing that's got to come out is all these vines. Look at all these vines. It's amazing how many vines are there. One of the real issues when doing a job like this is what do you do with all of the debris when you're done cutting it? You chip it, you shred it, you turn it into mulch. Yeah. Woo-wee. Look at all this mulch. What are we going to do with it? Now, we could put this in our compost pile. This is a lot of nice lignin. This is a lot of woody material. Remember, on our show on composting, we talked about making a fungus-based soil for things like woodland plants, trees, shrubs, woodland wildflowers like trilliums. Or another use that we have for invasive exotic material that we shred on site is to put it exactly back on site. There's a tremendous amount of wisdom in this theory. It was introduced to me by a gentleman by the name of Peter Liu down in Texas, where Peter Liu would do invasive exotic removals, and he would shred up all the material, and then he would lay it in as path mulch on the very site that he had just cleared. So Peter, thank you for that. That was, God, 20 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. Cheers. Hopefully now you'll do it too. You, me, and Peter Liu.